Welcome to PreVetted Podcast, a blend of tech and leadership. Our goal is to explore the journeys and stories of our guests, revealing valuable insights about engineering and business, and sharing them with our community. Our guest today is Capella Kerst, the founder and CEO of geCKo Materials, the revolutionary bio-inspired dry adhesive company. How are you doing, Capella? Great to have you.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. Happy Monday. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Um, Everything is good. So, tell me a little bit about geCKo Materials. What do you do?
Yes, geCKo Materials is a bio-inspired dry adhesive company. Our dry adhesive can be used over 120,000 times. We're basically the next industrial Velcro. So you can use us, like I mentioned, over 120,000 times. 1-inch tile can maximally support 16 pounds vertically. 6 1-inch tiles can pull a car. Or
Wow.
my famous TechCrunch Disrupt. I walked on stage with a full bottle of wine on my pinky. So you can use us in any barometric environment. So here on Earth, in atmospheric pressure, such as the rooms we're in now, a nitrogen box, hydrogen box, or a vacuum chamber. Because you can use this in vacuum, you can use this in space. We're on the International Space Station as well.
You can use it on space. I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah. We landed for the third time on election day, on the ISS, or the International Space Station. And last week, the ISS just released some footage of the in-cabin kind of using of geCKo materials, and soon they're going to be transitioning to the outside. And so we're very excited for the out of space kind of deep deep space mission that we're about to embark on.
Wow. So how does the material works with on this space because you have a very variety of temperature, right?
Yes, you
Uh,
can use us negative 115 degrees Celsius to 350 degrees Celsius. So the same wedges pulled and shear create that extremely strong force. You don't need any, it's not a vacuum, so you don't need to pull a vacuum. And because you
right.
can use those little micro hairs, they still work in a wide variety of temperatures and conditions as well.
Wow. Very interesting. So, can you share a little bit how what inspired you to found geCKo Materials? How you started the company?
So geCKo Materials was spun out of my PhD, in which I joined Mark Kokoski's lab, who is the inventor of the biomimicry space over 20 years ago. I came in after they've done 15 years of R&D developing, mimicking the gecko's ability to come up smooth and vertical surfaces. They helped make it man-made. It took 48 hours to make a single unit. I helped with the development of the fourth generation microstructure of these little micro wedges pulling shear, and then I invented the way to mass produce this. So came up with a metal mold in which you could produce the single unit in under 15 minutes. And then as a company, we can do multiple units in 15 minutes. So that was my contribution, and how it came about is my PhD, in which I spun out into a company.
Wow, interesting. How specifically were you able to, if you can talk about it, of course, um, how were you able to reduce the manufacturing time from 48 hours to 15 minutes? That's amazing.
Yes, thank you. So my PhD was in whole life cycle sustainability, mass production, and scaling. And so I was able to invent a permanent metal mold as opposed to the types of molds that had to be cured in room temperature before.
And what regulatory challenges have you found since you're starting to use it on multiple industries, right? And I'm sure you
Yes.
found it a lot of challenges with regulations, right?
Well, regulations, we've actually passed all of the intensive kind of testing that we've had to do with NASA Ames. So we've sent it off to two third-party NASA testers, in which they did an extensive year-long test in which they had it in very harsh conditions, continual harsh conditions. Normally, it has cyclic. In space, you'll have kind of the intensities will cycle in a cyclic manner, but we had 100% intensity for over 5 years, and we passed all of those and were certified for that. Beyond that, we have food grade, medical safe, um, kind of space and low outgassing tests that we have done, but it actually hasn't been as challenging as I was expecting, which is like knock on wood. It's great that we have been approved for all of those different sectors.
Right, right. I, I think that's a benefit of going with such a innovative material, right? Because all the regulations are thinking for another materials, and then you can
Yeah.
jump the hoops very easily, right? Because you're
Yes.
exceeded everybody's expectations in the industry. That's amazing.
Yes, yes. And we're very blessed with the next industrial Velcro. There really is no comparison, and we're solving very specific pain points and problems within each of the industry sectors we're targeting right now.
Right, right. I remember that Velcro was one of the first uses for Velcro was in tanks, in German tanks
Mm.
for the turrets, right? Because they
Oh,
have to withstand the vibrations of the cannon, right? Of
mm.
of the gun, right? I'm wondering how your material would work with
Yeah.
vibrations.
It does actually work with vibrations as long as you have it held relatively in shear and you kind of quote unquote lock it, then
Right,
we can do actually pretty intensive vibrations that geCKo Materials does still hold on to.
right, right. By locking, you mean when you grab it and pull it, right?
Yes, so if you have two pieces that are
If
held each in
right,
shear and you pull them together and then they're held relative to each other, then you can have pretty high vibrations in which it won't disengage. But if you have something that's just kind of draped like my famous wine bottle trick where it's just a piece of fabric that's draped over, then yes,
right.
the you can move it. There's, gravity coming into play and other things. Wind can, pull it off because it is so lightweight. But if you do have, an end effector on our robot that does engage it and it's held, then you can have pretty intensive vibrations.
And can we talk a little bit about your team? How you build your team in order to scale the company, right? What
Yes.
qualities do you prioritize when bringing new members to your team?
Qualities I prioritize are passion, hardworking, um, pleasant dispositions and a team player. So folks that are very passionate about changing the world, because with the next industrial Velcro, we're really helping our customers solve incredibly challenging pain points and problems like in manufacturing we're help eliminating section airline and vacuum dependencies. There's hazardous oils that get eliminated, there's lung damage that's eliminated, there's ear damage that's eliminated. We're truly changing the way industries are looking at manufacturing and the sustainability aspects as well as just the health of the overall workers within it because we're a completely passive system. So folks that are also passionate about changing the world for the better, making working conditions better, something that I do very much look for in the team and as we're growing.
What are the next goals for your company? Any upcoming development that you're particularly
Yeah.
excited about?
Yes, so we're closing this fundraising round and we're going
Right.
to be hiring a lot more folks and expanding the team to help, you know, make high fidelity solutions for our customers, helping solve pain points and problems. So it's a very exciting time. So the next goal is just more hiring.
Nice, nice. Yes, it's very challenging and very interesting to hire the right people. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Great, great. So what we can do is we can put the link of your job board once you start hiring.
Yes.
We'll update this episode so everybody can can apply. Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, please. Everyone apply. I'm so excited.
So you were talking about funding. What stage are you in the process?
Yeah, so we are doing a priced round of an
Right,
$8 million price round. We were on the pitch show earlier, as well as some other folks that have aired some news stories about us. Also at TechCrunch Disrupt, I spoke at length about our
right.
priced seed round. And so we're doing our first price round of $8 million.
Oh, nice, nice. And are you planning to do other rounds, or are you trying going as how
The
things go?
Yeah, the goal is to reach profitability and then have the
Right.
company kind of fund itself until IPO.
Right. Right. And when do you think you're going to reach profitability?
In the next 3 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what are your uh, ICPs? What are your clients' profiles?
Um, are the plans for profits?
The
Or
yeah,
sorry.
the type of clients that you're looking for. Where do you think
Oh,
this your product will fit best?
yes. In the automotive industry, the semiconductor industry, any pick and place, as well as space. So we are the next space Velcro. There are lots of space customers, lots of private and public customers in those industries, and also some military applications and use cases. And then the pick and place robots on the end effectors for various degrees of use. So for car manufacturers, be that headlamps, trim, side mirrors, assembly of the cars, chassis, um, or in the semiconductor industry, handling full wafers versus also dice pieces and parts.
I see. I see. So your customers are mostly in the manufacturing processes, right?
Yes,
And space,
manufacturing.
of course.
Yes, manufacturing
Right.
in space.
Right. And what has been the most interesting application you've seen for your product?
Oh, probably this dentist that purchased geCKo materials. That was pretty interesting. Also, DIY wallpaper has been really interesting. I think some of the most interesting things are folks that just kind of come out and they're, we are the next industrial Velcro. And so having our customers kind of come and say, hey, can I use it for this like workout piece of equipment I'm inventing? Or yeah, this dentist like procedure wanting to use geCKo materials. That was really cool. It just, yeah, it's really, really awesome to see all of the different applications. Like people really are creative and we are the next industrial Velcro. So like the applications are limitless, which is amazing. And yeah, we've had some pretty fun ones. Some are under NDA, so I can't mention them, but yeah.
Of course, yes. Yeah, I've seen plenty of NDAs as well, and yeah, it's sometimes you cannot speak the specifics. I understand. Yeah, yeah. I am super excited to see geCKo materials in the ISS soon. Yes, that would be
Oh, it
on outer
currently is.
space.
I can
Yeah.
send you a video. Yeah, it
Oh,
currently is.
really?
It's already there. Yeah, this is the third
Great.
time that
Right.
we've gone up to the ISS, and they just released a video last week of a in-house maneuver. So one of our customers, KMI, has geCKo materials on the end effector of their kind of arms, the robotic
Right.
arms. So the geCKo pieces are on each of the arms in these little black squares, and that helps with the capture of the satellite that they did initial test on. And then they're going to be doing more tests and then going out of the ISS to do some grasping in deep space um, for a variety of things. There's also ISAM, OSAM in space servicing, assembly, manufacturing on top of course, just like debris collecting or expensive debris collecting and harvesting of pieces in space.
Oh, they're going to harvest pieces on deep space using geCKo
Yes.
materials.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So we
very
help grasp
interesting.
these floating objects in space, debris collecting, and then you can harvest and grab some materials that we use that are precious and valuable and very expensive.
Right. Right. And what other experiments did they do on the ISS with the material?
So they've done some initial just like attaching astronauts to walls as they're doing experiments. They've also done tool attachments to certain things, and then they've done just like randomly kind of surveilling the area, data collecting, and then honing and attaching to chargers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And and what has been your observation on the different behavior on low gravity versus gravity? Have you
Well,
seen significant differences?
no, that's the great thing. So, because we don't need vacuum or atmospheric pressure to pull a vacuum. Excuse me, we don't need
Right.
that pressure differentiation to pull a vacuum like traditional suction. You can use this in any barometric environment. So doesn't really matter, which is great, regardless of the conditions that you can just use gecko materials in atmospheric pressure and non-atmospheric humidity, hot, cold, all the different environments. Gecko materials does not change.
It doesn't change. That's
No.
amazing.
Yeah.
So let me show you a story about there is a gecko in Mexico.
Yeah.
Um, so I used to live there, and they have these little geckos that are all over the houses. They're
Mm.
transparent, right?
Oh,
So they because it's hot weather, they sneak in all houses everywhere, right? And they make a particular noise, and they call them the kissers because they
that's so
they
cute.
make like kissing sounds,
Oh,
um, so the first time I saw them, I was like, "Oh my god, what is that?" They're very small; they don't do any harm.
yeah.
And then eventually, I start getting fond with them because now I learned that they were harmless, and they were uh, pretty nice. And then they basically they defy gravity because they're walking on the roof
Yes.
everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And super super fast, right? If you scare them, they go, "Choom,"
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I was learning about your company, I remember about these little geckos. I'll send you I'll send you a picture of them. Yeah,
Yes. Please
as
do. Love that.
the first time I arrived and I saw them, the first time I got scared. The second time I was taking a lot of pictures of them. Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then everybody was like, why it's so common that they for them it was not a novelty, right?
Yes.
So, but I was excited. Oh, look at these little animals, right?
No, I still yes, there are so many things that I still get excited about. I still love when people first interacted with gecko materials and just like the awe, and it's just bio-inspired of God's great creature, the gecko, which is phenomenal and yeah, defies all logic when they climb up on the roof. So that's so cute. Yes, please send.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you pictures. They're super cute, and they're little. They're very small. So um, and some people, they try to pet them, although they're not. You cannot interact with them or train them in any way, right? Um,
Oh,
yeah, but they're very nice. Yeah. And then
lovely.
if you try to grab them, they cut off their tail, and then they sneak out. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. And then it grows again, right?
The tail.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't wow, I thought that was just like a wives' tale, but oh, that's scary, but that's good. I guess they get away. I guess, yeah, protection and mm,
Yeah, yeah, it's for protection. The first time I did it and I had the tail in my hand, I got scared because I broke the gecko, right?
yeah.
The little gecko, right? Yeah. I
Oh,
hurt him, right?
yes, yes.
So
Oh,
again, somebody has had to explain to me,
but it's
yeah,
okay.
it's going to grow again.
Oh, so sweet, so sweet.
So yeah, I'll send you pictures because they're lovely. Yeah.
Yes, please do. Please do. That's lovely.
Yeah. Um, so I wanted to ask you about another company, the Start X Accelerator. Um, can you tell me a little bit more about how was your experience joining that accelerator, that company?
Yeah, so StartX is a awesome organization in which CEOs who have graduated from Stanford or startups that have a C-suite member who is has a Stanford affiliation, be that undergrad, grad, staff, professor, something like that, on their team, they can join this great group of people in which they have workshops and you kind of go through your cohort with classes and in these small things that we call neighborhoods, in which, really just get to open up and chat and get to learn from each other, from the neighborhood lead, um, on some of the challenges, we're going through as CEOs or CTOs or C-suite folks. So it is an amazing opportunity, and a great group. And I'm very blessed to have that opportunity. And they just hired a new CEO, Kyle, and he's been phenomenal. And his experiences have, been great. That he's really, brought back to StartX after, COVID and everything, where a lot of it went online, and now we're back in person again. And just the programming and kind of like the outlook of the program has shifted, and for the better. And it's a great, always was a great program, but now it's even more excellent in that aspect. And personally, there has been folks like Kyle, for example, who have been extremely helpful during this priced round, which I
Right.
can bring all my questions to. And it's just a very good group of people that you can be very like open with, and there's no judgment. If you don't know something, you don't know something, then no one really like, looks down. And it's a great camaraderie and fellowship of people that have gone through similar experiences and can share openly, again, without worrying, or, like, oh, this is my experience. And like, no one's going to be judged for whatever their experience is, which is great. So you can just you can just be yourself there. It's not, a group that, is all about like the procedure and everything, but people are extremely successful in the group.
Right.
And yeah, it's such an honor and blessing to, call these folks my friends. So yeah.
It's I think it's very important as a founder to have a safe space where you can
Yes.
go and be vulnerable, ask for help, and especially with people that can understand your challenges, right?
Yes.
That can help you. Yeah, it's not
They've
only about
been there before.
the challenges, but also the emotional process of
Yes.
them.
Yes. They've walked the walk before, or a similar walk, because every company's different. Every startup has its own ups and downs and challenges, and no two startups are ever the same in any circumstance. There's no repeat. There's no script that you can really, read off of. Even though we like to say you can, everybody's different. Has different experiences and fundraising and growing a team and their industry and the competitors out there and the time that they've started. So, no two companies are ever the same.
Usually, found the founder role is a very solitary role, right?
Yes, it
You're
is.
surrounded with people, but still, yeah.
You're
Um,
the one in charge. So, yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I understand. I'm a founder as well, so it's
Mm.
it is it is difficult. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I was talking with with another guest before, and we were talking about that it's a choice, right? That we make, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about that it's a voluntary discomfort for growth.
Yes. Exactly. I love that. Yes. Yes. Yeah. You
Yes.
grow a lot though. You grow a lot. So it's worth it. And if you do what you love and you're truly passionate, like the highs and lows, like it gets you through the lows for sure. I love what I do every day, and I'm so incredibly blessed that I wouldn't have it any other way. But yes, I agree with that sentiment.
And the guest that I interviewed before, he had an exit,
Ah,
and then he went back in to start another company,
another
right?
one. Round
So
two. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I was saying to him, like you were able to get away with it. You were out while you were in again, right?
And then you might go back for a second time. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's the goal, to be successful and then be able to kind of fund your second unicorn and have a couple unicorns. I mean, I mean, look at some of the most successful companies without naming names. They just go from one huge exit to another, and it's just phenomenal. And the difference in the impact they make is tremendous. So yeah, it's something to be said about repeat founders for sure.
Yes, yes, and that's how we we came up with this phrase of
Yeah.
it was a voluntary
Yeah.
decision. The thing is, when you start, usually you don't know what you're getting into it, and then it grows, right?
Yes.
It's an acquired taste, I guess, right?
Yes. And you fall in love
um,
with it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. I wouldn't do it any other way, but
Yeah.
still, it was a process, right? Um, but this guy knowingly, decided to come back in,
For a
right?
second time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and and having going back to what you were talking about, the start accelerator, right?
Yeah.
Having a group that can share those stories, right? It's an amazing,
Yeah.
you have your support group, right? That can
Yes.
boost you up when you need it the most.
Exactly. So blessed by that group of folks. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Great, great. So we'll put the information when you start hiring. We'll update this episode so people can reach out
Great. Thank
and
you.
and apply. And in the future, if there's anything else I can to help, just let me know. Right? More than happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if anything I can do to help, please let me know as well. Yes, it's been lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you very much. It was great to have you, and I wish you the best with this the new stage of raising capital, because from what I'm hearing, and actually I've seen your product in the TechCrunch Disrupt conference, so I've seen it firsthand. I think it's amazing, and I'm hoping you guys are going to be very successful in the future.
Thank you. Thank you.